Hi, I'm Sandy Scheller with the Chula Vista Heritage Museum and the South Bay Historical Society inside of our Chula Vista exhibit. April 7th is Holocaust Remembrance Day. I'm with my boss that I've had for 21 years, and this is a flying trapeze act that has gone around the world numerous times, right, Billy? I'm with Vilen Golovko. If you ever called my phone and you want to know about the flying trapeze acts and you want to book it, of course it can be done. Thank you for coming on our show. Billy, what I want to know is the inspiration for flying trapeze, because you've just seen the Holocaust exhibit that I'm going to say we created because you were here last year helping me. So it's good to have you, and tell me the inspiration of what your flying trapeze act is about.
My teacher, Piotr Maestrenko, he is a soldier in the Second World War, and he has lost many friends. And when he has a possibility to make big aerial ballet, he is makes this about soldiers who has died and transformed to white cranes.
You transform it into white cranes.
And I hear in San Diego some memorial about soldiers and cranes. No?
Yes. When after our interview, I'm taking you to the bayfront where we have something to do, and I'll show you that. Yes.
And of course, Holocaust is hard for all world because is like it's not enough English for explain everything about what I feel about Holocaust, but I speak in Russian. Большая боль для всего человечества, потому что это как раковая опухоль рак была, которая начала уничтожать весь организм Земли. И спасибо, что наш организм, наша Земля нашла в себе силы остановить эту опухоль. И наш организм снова стал здоровым, но люди, будьте внимательны, сейчас эта раковая опухоль опять назревает. И то, что делает Сэнди сейчас, это не просто воспоминание о том, что было. Это напоминание о том, что может быть очень скоро. Я вас прошу, будьте внимательны между политикой, между пропагандой, everything. Don't trust political people. Not everybody political people. You know about what, о ком я говорю сейчас. Потому что точно так же начиналась раковая опухоль в 1939 году. И я хочу сказать, что все люди-братья, Россия, Америка, совершенно никакого отношения. Люди России, люди США, Мексики, Испании, Германии, России, Филиппин. Люди не имеют отношения к тому, что творится. И эта раковая опухоль назревает, а потом только вовлекает этих людей в свою беспредельную беду. Люди, будьте друзьями, и относиться надо друг к другу с дружбой. Тогда мы сможем эту опухоль, которая назревает, которая была, которая назревает, победить.
What we're trying to explain is that when the worlds come together, all the different people, that when you become one, you take so much from what everybody else has to offer. With the flying cranes, it was one thing, and especially when I saw the act for the first time, it was one thing when you see somebody who's just on a trapeze, but the fact that you create the just unthinkable that somebody dies and then they just get transformed into this bird. So we're going to watch a little bit of that act while we're talking.
They float through the air. Although the stunts that trapeze artists perform become ever more complicated, the basics haven't changed in 150 years. It's until the flying cranes. The flying cranes not only perform the fantastic and rarely seen quadruple somersault, but as Bob Brown shows us, they have an act with a message. And if you're wondering what war footage has to do with the trapeze, Bob has the answer.
The story of the flying cranes comes from World War II. It is a powerful Russian image from a poem that says, when soldiers died on the battlefield, their spirits rose into the sky, where they flew in the form of these great white birds, the cranes. From that legend has come this legend, a Moscow circus act called the Flying Cranes, that pays tribute to fallen war heroes in a form unlike anything the circus has ever seen. Performers in stark white costumes create the illusion of a transformation into birds. And then take flight above the ring with trapeze stunts that are among the most daring in circus history. Performers in stark white costumes create the illusion of a transformation into birds. And then take flight above the ring with trapeze stunts that are among the most daring in circus history. When the first part is over, the trapeze act begins. In this part, the cranes are just as tightly choreographed, this time for spectacular athletic maneuvers that remind you as much of a gymnastic event as a circus. When your eye expects to follow them to one destination, they often take off in midair to another. If they decide to perform 4 somersaults, they will do it now. But because they refuse to break the rhythm of the performance by announcing their tricks, you have to watch closely. Here, then, is an attempt, and you will see what few people have ever witnessed. A flyer trying 4 midair somersaults. Watch Peter Sergikov. And watch again. Injuries prevented Sergikov from trying for 5 on this tour, but he says he will try in the future. And if he makes it, the accomplishment will be superhuman by all the standards of the past.
There's still magic at the circus, and it's called
the Fabulous Flying Cranes.
The most important thing that we want to do is to talk about peace. What happens when worlds come together? Was it hard for me to learn Russian as it was hard for you to learn English? But yet for 21 years, we have, and I hope many more, that we can continue with the beauty of the flying cranes. You've had how many generations of performing in your family? Your father?
Not too much, just second.
Okay, so this is the 3rd generation that you have.
Yeah.
No, you're on 4 generations now. You have your father, who was the very famous director with the circuses in Moscow, you, your son, and if I'm not mistaken, you have now grandchildren.
Yeah.
That are following the path of what you've done, the tradition of the trapeze. The act has been in Ringling Brothers Circus, Cirque du Soleil, in Guangzhou, China, Moscow, Germany. Keep going.
Japan.
Japan.
Japan, we performed in Hiroshima.
In Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
We make flying cranes.
Mm-hmm.
You remember this story about small paper cranes?
Yes, a small paper that was folded in the
Yeah,
crane.
girls make some,
Yes.
and we make this especially. One small girls go to the arena and make this papers play,
Mm-hmm.
and after flying cranes is fly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Especially for Hiroshima. Yes.
Yeah, it's really been a journey, because if you would have told me back in 1999 when I met you in Reno that our worlds were going to come together, that I would be putting together a Holocaust exhibit in my city, and yet I have been working with somebody who remembers World War II in flying. From my history that I've learned, 6 million people were killed in the Holocaust. 20 million were killed in Russia.
Yeah.
So much more. And I think it's important that when we talk about the Holocaust, it's not just Jewish people. They were people that were political differences, people that were Catholic, people that had handicaps, people that were gay. It's one of those things that tomorrow, if you want to do yourself a favor, what you'll do is you will take a candle, light a candle, think about somebody that suffered so much, and hopefully tomorrow you'll be as kind as you can as we remember Holocaust Remembrance Day. And Holocaust Remembrance Day doesn't have to be one day. We can remember it every day. So, ready to say goodbye?
Bye.
Thanks for watching.